back to the channel. So today we're going to be working on the truck. The other day I was out and I loaded the bed full of wood. It was kind of muddy, went to throw it in four-wheel drive. Four-wheel drive didn't work. So these trucks, these old Dodge trucks, they use vacuum. The video will cover 94 to 01 Ram 2500 four-wheel drive trucks and the vacuum on them. So they use vacuum, and the vacuum from the transfer case, I don't know however it's created, but the vacuum sucks the actuator closed on the front axle. The actuator locks the front axles, the two half shafts together, and that's how it initiates four-wheel drive and locks the axle together so it'll work. Obviously you pull the handle on the transfer case, and that's actually what's giving you four-wheel drive. The actuator just locks your two axle shafts together. So what we're going to do is we're going to bypass that. This mod has been done for years and years and years, so you can tell me that this is stupid and it's not going to work. But going forward, I think after 02, I know all the third gen Dodges, they don't have this actuator. As soon as you grab four-wheel drive on the floor, it's in four-wheel drive. We're going to lock the front axle. We're just going to lock the two axle shafts together. So common questions are, will it be locked in four-wheel drive? No, it will not be locked in four-wheel drive. The only time it will be in four-wheel drive is when you grab the handle on the floor of the transfer case and put it in four-wheel drive. Number two, will it hop on pavement like when you turn? Well, when you turn with your limited slip rear end, does it hop on pavement? The answer is no, it doesn't. So no, the front should not hop on pavement when you turn. It's a limited slip differential. It's an open differential. The only thing that's going to make it hop on pavement, any differential, is when it's locked. So that will be taken care of. It's not going to hop on pavement. People say this will hurt your mileage. I don't know. I think most of the people driving these trucks nowadays, I mean, this truck is 22 years old, and this video covers 22 to 28-year-old trucks. Nobody's buying these trucks for mileage, guys. I mean, most people that are driving these still are either using them just for work. They don't care about the mileage, or they're using them for snow plowing or something. You know, like, they're pretty beat up trucks. Will it hurt your mileage? You might lose 1 mile to the gallon, maybe, if that. I don't know. I'm not a mileage pro. I don't really care about the mileage. If I lose 1, I don't care. If I lost 10 miles to the gallon, I'd be pretty upset. But I don't think that's going to be the case. So let's get under there. I'll show you what we're going to do and show you the end result. Let's go. All right, guys. So this is the actuator right here. These vacuum lines right here, they are flexible, and then they run up to the frame, and they're steel along the frame. This one's actually not really bad. This truck, the body is really rusty on, but the frame is really clean. They're metal. They're not rusted. I don't know why this isn't working. There's got to be a pinhole leak somewhere. Surprisingly, this is actually in really good shape. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove this actuator, and I'll show you once we get it removed how we're going to fix it. Like I said, I'm pretty surprised that this isn't working, being that it's not all rusted out, but at the same time, I'm not going to keep messing with this thing. I just want to grab the four-wheel drive and it work right away. I'm not waiting for the vacuum. So let's go. All right, guys, so how this works is this is your vacuum here, those pins, and when you activate the four-wheel drive, it closes it, slides this shaft over, and moves it in four-wheel drive. It's just this actuator. This here is the little light that comes on when this slides over. It presses that pin right in there, and it'll turn the four-wheel drive light on. So what we are going to do is there is a C-clip, you can kind of see it down in there, on either side of this actuator. So what we're going to do is we are going to take those C-clips off, move the actuator over, put the C-clips back on, and then this actuator will hold the pin on the truck, and I'll show you that. It will hold it in four-wheel drive. It will hold the axle closed, I should say, and then as soon as I grab four-wheel drive on the floor and initiate the transfer case, I will have four-wheel drive. So let's do this. All right, guys, so you can see now I got both of the C-clips off, and now what we're going to do is we are going to hold the shaft. We're gonna hold the shaft and slide this over. You have to slide the fork on the shaft, kind of like what we did right there. I'll show you the finished product. When you take these off, I recommend putting a screwdriver on either side of them, holding them in your hand at the same time, and then take a hammer and tap, tap, tap. And it comes off. That's how I get those. So I'll show you here. All right, guys, so now you can see I have moved the actuator on the shaft, and I will put the C-clip right back there, so now the actuator can't move on it, and that'll do it. All right, guys, so here's the piece of the puzzle. This is what turns your truck to four-wheel drive. You have both your axle shafts there. When this piece slides over, you have to make this aligned. So I'm gonna reach over and roll the tire. When this comes aligned, so you see there it slid over, now it is locked and four-wheel drive can work. So even though these two are locked together now, right here is the limiting factor. That is a limited slip diff and open diff. So even though those are locked, they have to lock to make either tire turn, but still only one tire will turn or could turn until the differential actually locks. So even though this is locked together, you will still won't like chirp the tires on concrete when you turn or something, because this is saving you. So this is locked together, and now we're gonna put our actuator back over that, and since we moved the arm to the left-hand position, it will hold it right here and be set. So let's do that. It's hard getting any work done when you got this little thing. All right, guys, so everything is put back together now. I just put the vent right back over on the vent hole. The vacuum lines I just put right back on there. They're not gonna do anything because it's already closed. So you could close them off. You could, I don't know what you could do all sorts of things with them. They leak somewhere, so they're not doing anything anyway, so I just left them on there. I plugged the four-wheel drive light back in, so now it will always show four-wheel drive on the dash. If that bothers you, you can just leave it unplugged, and then it won't show four-wheel drive when you're in four-wheel drive or all the time. This truck already has a lot of lights on in the dash, so I don't really care about another one. So I just plugged that back in, didn't want the connector to get all corroded or anything, so we're back together. You will lose a little bit of oil, just enough to wet a pan really. We'll throw some more in the diff, top it off, and I'll show you the finished product. So you saw how that works. I didn't create this mod or anything. People have been doing this for probably 20 years. Probably since they saw the 02s and 03s didn't have this actuator, and they had their 2000 and older truck, and they're like, man, why won't my four-wheel drive work? Like, the vacuum's all messed up and I'm tired of messing with it, so they just bypassed it. If this mod is for you, great. If not, if you want everything fixed by the book, then chase down the vacuum leak and fix it. For me, I just was tired of messing with this thing. This thing's just a firewood truck, and if you've got a firewood truck or a snowplow truck, or you just need four-wheel drive to fix and you don't want to go chase down a bunch of problems, you just want to fix like that, that's how you do it. If you don't make a video about it, it probably takes about 10 minutes to do. It's very simple, doesn't take a lot of time, and as soon as you grab four-wheel drive on the floor, it's gonna work and it's gonna make you happy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I watched the Dirty Diamond Diesel video. He has a lot of good 2000 second gen Ram videos, like how-to videos, so check out his video if you haven't already seen it, and we'll see you. All right, guys. We're gonna cold start the second gen, bring her in the shop. It's super cold today. It is -2, and with the wind chill it says -26. The truck is not plugged in. I haven't started it since yesterday. Fuel is treated with some Hot Shots anti-gel, so let's see how that goes. Alright guys, so you saw the cold start. Started up pretty good for as cold as it was. I got it in the shop here now. I've already changed the thermostat on it. It just wasn't heating up. So I changed the thermostat, and I want to show you guys how simple these trucks are. If you need a truck for a firewood truck or just an old beater, these trucks are pretty tough to beat. Everything's just so simple. So let me show you. Alright guys, so I changed the thermostat. This was just super easy. Right here, there's 3 8mm bolts. What I did is I just clamped this top hose with some pinch off pliers. You can drain the coolant if you want. I clamped it, took the bolts out, ripped this thing off. A little bit of coolant went everywhere, no big deal. Just doused it down with some water. Put the new thermostat on there, bolted it down. Super easy. I mean, everything on this thing is just real easy. If you ever have to change a water pump, the water pump is right there. It's 2 bolts, super easy. Can't get much better than that. Also guys, update on the 4-wheel drive mod that you just saw too. Works great. Just pull it in 4-wheel drive, the transfer case on the floor, and 4-wheel drive is instant. No grinds, nothing crazy. I drove it on dry pavement several times, turned through drive-thrus. It doesn't like jump on the pavement, nothing weird. It drives just like normal. So I would highly recommend that. It's just simple. You can fix the vacuum lines if you want, but if you're like me and you just want a good beater that works when you need it and you don't really care about doing things the right way. I ain't saying it's the wrong way, but it's not factory. Maybe factory wasn't a good way, but works great. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.